I'm really not sure, like, what what does Kelly do? Have you ever seen any? I thought she was just a photographer.
A photographer and videographer, right? She does videos too.
Oh look, yeah, because she did our little commercial for us that one time. You was there with us.
Yeah, she told me she does videos. She said if I ever want help trying to do a music video, let her know.
But where is she gonna post this stuff at? That's what. Okay, so as the first time, this was April. Hey Travis, want to talk video collaboration in the near future? I love to create a short doc about you as a human and an artist. Okay, and I agreed to that shit then. But I've never seen her like post stuff on her social media like, oh, here's my latest short documentary or my latest this or my new film or like.
Maybe she has a website and she's putting together a documentary. She's probably on YouTube. She got 2 letters in her last name.
How do you say her last name?
Desoy.
I never said Kelly's last name out loud, yo.
Desoy.
Desoy.
Unless it's Desoye, but I'm gonna go with it's Desoy. I wonder did she record this video? Glam Fine in the kitchen. But I can't find anything under her name.
Yeah, like what are you? Okay, so you want to do a small.
Her stuff looks good though.
Yeah, about me and my art, and that's cool. But like, where I've never really seen you put nothing over it. Like, that looks like a European holiday to me, sir. Fuck you, Nikki. That's why I ain't post that shit on Facebook.
I was about to say you ain't posted.
Nah, they Outreach post that shit though. Sometimes Santa even needs a little help with a job search. Lead center staff can assist anyone with resume writing, job readiness, employment search, and additional job search preparedness. Call for an appointment today. See, that's what we do, man.
Alright, I'm coming to get an appointment tomorrow.
People get jobs, man. You need employment, man. We trying to help you. And Carol actually has a pretty sweet voice, so she was like singing Santa Baby. That's that not Madonna. Marilyn Monroe.
Mariah Carey?
Marilyn Monroe did it first.
Okay. Okay.
In the 60s. That shit is old as fuck, yeah.
I mean, she sung Mr. President too, but...
And I'm pretty sure Marilyn Monroe did Santa Baby.
I'm not surprised. It's just the queen of Christmas music is Mariah Carey.
Yeah. But she started singing that shit, and I was like, oh shit, Carrie, you sound sweet. She got a little sweet voice. Santa Baby.
She was trying to show off.
Yeah. Okay, you can sing a little bit, Carol.
God, look at that lobster tail, babe.
What that right there was $60.
Yo, this is what I'm trying to eat on my birthday. I don't need no steak.
You gotta be on
a 1 pound baked lobster tail.
You gotta be on the coast somewhere to get some shit like that. You gotta go down to Maryland. You ain't gonna find no 1 pound lobster tail around here.
I was gonna say we're going to Maryland. But we will find lobster. We're closer to Maine than Maryland is. Maryland's known for crab. We have good lobster.
You gotta get closer to the water to get something that big.
Yeah.
They ain't bringing that shit all the way inland.
We have yet to find lobsters that even have this color.
Yeah. The spotted tail like that.
We only find the regular, like those Maine lobsters, those small ones. So I wonder what this kind of lobster is called then. A 16-ounce pan seared ribeye and some king crab legs. And mango-infused colossal shrimp. They did everything big. And then, look at what they drinking. Pure white Hennessy.
Oh,
they ain't come to play.
Yeah, Tamar was on that shit one time, yo. I drank that shit with him.
Damn.
And that meat, damn, that little steak look, damn, that's some big ass shrimp.
Right, the steak.
That's the fucking,
good.
that's the king crab legs.
So I'm about to be like, where do you shop for your seafood? Because this is on my soul food group. The Cowboys are gonna still lose. Alright, let me click on this person's page. I need to see where you got your stuff from. God damn. I need to start posting my food. That look good too. Honey pepper glazed ribeye with the Caribbean jerk chicken and seafood Alfredo and some fried plantains in a pineapple bowl.
That's fish.
Blackened catfish over rice.
Fish.
Blackened pineapple habanero shrimp with some stuffed charbroiled clams and some asparagus. Oh, so he's a cook. Damn. I just need to know where he's getting these 1 pound lobster tails from. Though.
And then once again, it's men. Like, men know how to cook. I don't see what the whole thing is with this shit with boys playing in the kitchen and shit.
Honestly, remember, I never grilled until I got with you because the men in my family always fucking grilled.
Almost any chef you can name is a man. Like, in the top...
Gordon Ramsay.
The main chef everybody knows is a fucking man, yo.
The main baker, the Buddy's Bakery, Carlos, Buddy, all of them are men.
It's men.
Now, don't get me wrong.
There's nothing feminine about cooking.
You got Martha Stewart. You got women that.
And then once again, Martha Stewart. But the first name you think about, a major, he just pops in your mind. Like, men are. Oh, it's okay to cook. Yo.
When I think of grilling or any type of barbecue pit beef, I'm sorry, I'm about to sound racist.
Move.
I'm not saying that white man can't do it.
Move.
But when it comes to the grilling and the pit beef and the shit. It's always a country black man that do it the best. With the sandals and the ashy feet, the jorts, the jean shorts. And a little stretched out ass beater, sweating and shit. Yeah.
With the brown sweat stains?
Yep, him.
That motherfucker can grill.
I want him making my food. You gotta make sure he clean up under his nails before he start cooking, but I want him to cook my food.
Yo, this reel got so many views, but it's so fucking blurry. I hate that shit. I want to take that shit down and delete it. Look at the clarity. Watch. Look how fuzzy that is compared to the original.
Yeah, but go with the views.
That shit is clear. And this one, I don't know why it loads like that. That shit is fuzzy and blurry as shit, yeah. But that shit got the goddamn numbers on that bitch.
Running it up.
I love this.
It's pretty hot.
That music, yo.
I love that one so much.
That chop and screw. Yo, they did that shit. Whoever mixed that shit, they mixed the hell out of that shit, yo.
Oh my god, all you eat is lobster.
Granny does more than catch errors. With Grammarly, you can find really good.
Just a humble for the internet. Guess you wonder where I've been.
Ooh, where I've been. Ooh. That shit hot right there. I don't give a fuck what you saying, bro. Yo, he mixed the fuck out this shit, bro. That's me. already fucked the goddamn groove up. God damn, bro. You know what though? I'ma fix this, and that shit so fucking groovy. It just come right back. Watch, you'll feel it. Let me just fix this real quick, and we'll just start over like that shit ain't even happened.
Oh boy! Oh my god! This shit is expensive.
I'm telling you, man.
Don't nothing come up. It's all coming from Maine or Amazon. North Atlantic lobster tail. Fresh cold water lobster. That's what we've been
Yo,
doing.
what up? Hey, listen to this mix right here, yo. How this motherfucking chopped and screwed lo-fi this goddamn track, yo. I ain't even gonna lie, I know the song, but I don't know singing to this shit.
Coming from Florida.
I say you gotta be close to the water, man, for some shit like that, yo.
But even in the studio downstairs.
It's the colder waters up north that be doing that shit, yo.
That's what we've been getting, the cold water lobster tail. It's tender, it's good. I just want a big one. I feel like we would have to like get the one out the tank and just do it ourselves. But that's what I want to eat for my birthday, so it's already out there. I want lobster.
Guess you wonder where I've been. That man know the music, man. That man know the music. So this the album that this song right here, yeah. So, what do you mean? What are you? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You know what the fuck that is? The words right there? Nobody don't know what that is.
Yes,
woo! That shit's so lit now.
What did he mean? What are you?
Just a normal bounty hunter. Yo, she said he called you a cowboy. What did he mean? What are you? Just a normal bounty hunter, ma'am. Yo, it's Cowboy Bebop, the movie, yo. That was fucking Cowboy Bebop, yo.
All right. Okay.
So we're not from some charity organ.
He called you a cowboy. What did he mean? What are you?
Just a humble bounty hunter, man.
Yo, that's how the movie started out, yo. He called you a cowboy. What did he mean? What are you? run through the animated series, yo. Like the original content. A bounty hunter, man. That shit high, yo. I like that shit. Yo. Hey. I gotta post this on YouTube. Got that Cowboy Bebop in there. Huh?
You see Piggy say hola?
Yo, Piggy. What up, man?
I like this one. This almost sounds like, what's her face? I can't think of her name. What's the singer name? I can't think of it. Nina Simone. That sounds like the very intro of a Nina Simone song. She got some good ass music. You ever heard the song You Can Have 'Em, I Don't Want 'Em?
Oh, yeah. I think I
Have
heard
them.
that. Yeah.
I don't want 'em. I was like, alright, nigga, talk your shit. It was cool in the beginning. Now it's
Yeah. I know that video. I know the video, yo. He's sitting like on a park bench or some shit. And it's a fucking white guy singing.
Remember we watched that video and there was like white singers that you thought were black?
Yeah. We watched them. Yeah, that's the same shit. Like, yo, this nigga not black. What the fuck?
John B. What's the dude? His name is Kenny something. He's an old white singer.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's not Kenny
And what was the
Rogers.
other motherfucker white dude? His father was an actor back in the day. I can't remember none of them niggas' names.
Spiny Lobster. I learned something new today. Kenny Rogers, is that what I'm thinking of?
Kenny Rogers was a country singer.
What the hell was his name? Kenny something.
To finish the Rubik's Cube in under 30 seconds.
Yeah.
me.
You're right. Have you touched me? I did not touch you.
No. No, I'm calling my mama. You ain't about to fuck me up, bitch.
I can't believe nobody interviewed her.
Stop. Get off my seat.
I need to go now. Please respect get fucked up if she doesn't get the fuck away from me.
She's shaking.
You want to talk to her because she's black and she's fucking pissing me off right now.
Yeah, every time I watch this, I'm just like, nobody said nothing.
Now the thing is, I watched the interview with the mom, and the mom said that her daughter has had like 20-something incidents at school. She's on this autism spectrum. She's fucking hyperactive and all these other things, and they keep putting her in normal classes. And she's like, I wish they can just, you know, what the mom said was label her a certain way so that she can get in the classes that would offer her special attention, that's not as packed as a normal classroom, because she has all these issues. And her mom was like, yo, I don't teach her to talk like that. Like, none of our family members talk like that. I don't know where the fuck she's getting this shit from. But I've asked this school several times, like, can we place her in a special setting so she's not, you know, fucking with people, yo, because this is how she acts.
Deal with me.
A video seen hundreds of thousands of times online shows a freshman striking a substitute teacher in Fort Worth's Castleberry High School. The student then called her mom using offensive racial language on the phone.
You want to talk to her because she's black and she's right now.
Oh, I was very upset.
Brittany Evans is the student's mother.
I don't know, honestly, where she would learn something like that. I know I don't throw racial slangs, ever. I know none of my family members that live in the house with me throw racial slangs.
But I don't think that.
Brittany says there is more to this story than what you see in the video. She says her 15-year-old daughter is autistic, bipolar, and battles depression with anxious distress. Brittany said she's had more than 10 meetings with district leaders trying to get her daughter moved into special ed classes.
I wish the school would label her correctly so that we didn't have to go through this.
The district said they can't comment on conversations with the student's family, but in a statement they said they are aware of and disturbed by the video, commending the teacher, saying in part, quote, "We support this teacher and her response in the strongest terms possible. Because criminal activity occurred, the district immediately turned this matter over to law enforcement."
After I saw that video, I was shaking with anger.
Steve Poole is the executive director for United Educators Association. Represents several teachers in Castleberry ISD.
I hate
racism. It is a felony under state law. Assaulting a public servant, and a teacher is a public servant, is a felony. And hopefully the student will face appropriate consequences.
Castleberry ISD police are leading the investigation, but did not respond to our request for comment. Brittany says her daughter is facing a 3-day suspension with more punishment possible. She also wanted to apologize to the teacher.
She is an amazing woman. She is calm, very collected, super sweet.
And that's the thing, like, that little white girl fucked up. But at the same time, her mom has had meetings that are on record trying to get her kid in a special class. It's, I don't know. That's a weird ass little case right there. That shit had me fucked up watching that shit. Then I was like, what the fuck? Somebody else got something to say? I want to watch the video. Who got something to say about this shit? Oh, the parents talking? Let me see what this bitch got to say.
Number one, recently it is thought due to this variant there has been a really steep rise in cases in South Africa, and also the hospitalizations are going up. And We're going to talk more about that. The cases have really taken up.
Alright, my man, motherfucking Steve, talking about the Omnicron.
Cases.
And my girl said that shit was the name of a movie or some shit. Like, what the fuck?
Talk more about that. But the cases have really taken up.
Oh man, they gonna get us.
Go up in South Africa, and it's thought that this is because of the Omicron variant, this new variant. That's one reason for concern. Another reason for concern is the number and the type. There's a large number of mutations in this variant. Changes.
Talk about. Man, who grandma is this?
The number and the type of
Nikki,
mutations
she do look good.
Yeah, look at you. Yeah, you a grandma.
That this
weird, yo. Like my sister, grandma, like damn, motherfucking grandparents now, yo. That shit is crazy, bro. My cousin Nikki, a motherfucking grandparent. Like damn.
Protected if you previously had COVID before.
Damn, that shit wild,
so this
bro.
is not clear.
Grandparents.
It's not clear whether it causes more severe disease or not. So, in the coming weeks,
like
that research is going on right now. In the coming weeks, we should be getting
Omnicron
answers about whether it's transmissible,
that motherfucker's stupid. He said that shit sound like a damn transformer.
Whether it gives you more severe disease.
Megatron.
All of that
Omnicron.
is just not known right now.
Optimus Prime.
It's just not known. You can't extrapolate from the relatively few number of cases out there right now. Scientist after scientist has said that. We'll talk a little bit more about that too. But it's considered, the general consensus among the scientific community is that this is a potentially,
I forgot to send my master
very bad variant, but it might turn out not to be. So we just have to wait in the coming weeks to see what the research says. Again, third case has now been found in the U.S. This is in Colorado. It's a adult female who had, I assume, recently who had recently traveled to Southern Africa. She was vaccinated. She had not taken a booster yet, even though she was eligible. And she has minor symptoms and is recuperating at home. And just to catch you up, if you haven't seen the information on the second case that was detected in the U.S., that was earlier today. This was in Minnesota. A person in Minnesota has Omicron, and I don't know if they're still infected. They definitely did get infected, and they had traveled to New York City in late November, actually a couple weeks ago, to go to the Anime 2021 Anime Festival. It's a type of anime is a type of art, and so it's like used in like comics and video cartoons. So this person, so you can see here, this is from Minnesota Department of Public Health, right? And it describes this case, and it says the person in Minnesota, the second U.S. case, with the Omicron variant is an adult male, a resident of Hennepin County, and had been vaccinated. This person developed mild symptoms on November 22nd and sought COVID testing on November 24th. The person's symptoms have resolved. That's good. The person spoke with case investigators and reported traveling to New York City and attended the Anime NYC 2021, convention. I think I might have said festival. I don't know. Anime NYC 2021 convention at the Javits Center in New York City from November 19th to November 21st. And then they got symptoms the day after they attended the festival on the 22nd. The person was advised to isolate from others. Minnesota epidemiologist will continue to investigate in collaboration with New York City. New York City is telling anyone who went to that festival, to that convention, saying you should get tested.
Oh shit! That Versus today, yo.
New York.
Bone Thugs and 3-6 Mafia, nigga. Yo.
If you attended,
who you got?
Bone Thugs.
That's what I said. Everybody, all my homies was like 3-6. There's like, 3-6 Mafia got that shit. I'm like, cause they Southern, and they like some Tennessee niggas, so I get it. But like, I ain't gonna lie, yo, I listen to way more Bone Thugs than 3 6 Mafia. Like, I had the first 3 6 Mafia album, and I had a Project Pat album, and that's it. I had that's all I got from 3 6, yo. But matter of fact, I got one of Juicy J, his last album. That nigga still making music, and that last album, I can listen. It's like still just like some dope boy shit, but I can listen to that shit all the way through, yo. That shit hard as shit. The beats, the little features he got on there, that shit good, yo. I would take 3 6 if it was all of them. Yeah. DJ Paul, motherfucking Project Pat. What the girl name was? Shut the fuck up! Yo, Juicy hit him with that shit, yo. That is little shit. Shut the fuck up!
I forgot that was right there.
Gangsta Boo. There you go. Where that Juicy J album at? Right, side by side. Project Pat, Juicy J. Now I had this Project Pat album back in the day. That's the one that Don't Call Me No More. Yo, that shit, yo. He got some songs on that shit that is just fucking classic fucking songs, yo. I'm a walking bankroll. You can rubber band me. Yo, that nigga was going off on that shit, yo. And then Stay Trippy, Juicy J. When this shit came out? Oh, this kind of old. It's the last one I got from him, though, 2013. But goddamn, what that one song?
Stay motivated. Stay out.
So much money, so much money, coming to so much money that I need 3 hands to count it. Yeah, into so much money, thumbing through so much money, coming through so. This nigga say I'm thumbing through so much money. I need 3 hands to count this shit, nigga. Somebody give me another hand, man. It's Omnicron.
At the Javits Center from
this motherfucker was at the goddamn Comic-Con spreading that shit like wildfire. This motherfucker went to Comic-Con in New York with the Omnicron.
Okay, so
this is biological warfare, people.
3 cases right now in the U.S. 2 discovered today. It's I would say, from the scientists I've been reading, expected that we'll find a bunch more. There's more cases being found in different countries.
YouTube.
And look, remember the
Versus John, they just be on YouTube. I'm about to see now, and they be having a countdown for it. So Fat Joe Ja Rule is the last one. You ain't seen that one? Yeah, you watched that with me, cause Fat Joe is picking at the chicks that fucking Ja Rule had. He was like, man, you got some skinny bitches, but you need to feed them bitches, bro. Yo, Fat Joe been going in, yo. Versus. Oh, see, there's somebody else channel. Boy, that shit coming right up, yo. Wait a minute. This can't be. This shit say 9 days ago.
Manscaped's 20% off holiday sale is happening now.
10 days?
Don't miss it. Every guy needs to add Manscaped to
Nah,
3-6 Mafia. And when we talk about legendary hip-hop groups, let's just say they are definitely in the conversation. Now, the core members of 3-6 Mafia consist of DJ Paul, Lord Infamous, Juicy J, Crunchy Black, Coops the Nika, and Gangsta Boo. Now, also a part of 3-6 Mafia's extended family, you have LeChat as well as Project Pat. Now, every member of 3-6 Mafia is from Memphis, Tennessee. Shout out to Memphis doing big things in hip-hop. Bone Thugs and Harmony, the legendary rap group that had its own unique sound.
Ohio.
This rap quintet consisted of, well, you know what? I'll just let Tasha handle this part. And all 5 members of Bone Thugs and Harmony are from Cleveland, Ohio. 3-6 Mafia as well as Bone Thugs and Harmony are both legendary in the hip-hop community. With that being said, let's get into this curated, creative content. It was 3-6 Mafia that let us all know about the late night tip.
Yeah, but just as soon as Bone Thugs played First of the Month
record, 3-6
and Meet You
Mafia
at the Crossroads, that's all they need. Them 2 songs right there, yo.
Aside from the Mafia's dark side, they also had a wild side. Gangsta Boo, you ready? Rest in peace to Lord Infamous and Coops the Nika. Late Night Tip was that 3-6 Mafia song with...
Yeah, I remember the
One
first...
with KRS-One?
Huh? KRS did a versus with who?
Yeah, who won up against KRS-One?
No, I ain't watched that shit. KRS-One and who? Who he went against? I remember the first time I heard 3-6, bro. I was in 8th grade in the locker room at the gym, yo. We was about to start working out for gym class, and my man had the little Walkman, yo, tape. What you listen to? He's like, man, I got that new 3-6. I'm like, what? Started listening to that shit, yo. I was like, yo, who the fuck these dudes is, yo? Oh, that shit a long time ago. Fucking 8th grade, yo. Where's grade dude? Turn this off so I can see which reference. Photo. I took some pictures dressed up as Santa Claus. Y'all want to see?
Big Daddy Kane.
What? Oh, KRS-One and Big Daddy Kane? You a motherfucking lie. You a motherfucking lie. Bro, when the hell they did this? This was last month? Them boys ain't verse each other. They went out there and did a concert. That's all that is. Cause they can't even go, damn, they put Daddy Kane up against this nigga.
You're not ready for it.
But motherfucking KRS-One just dropped the album like last year, the year before last. Big Daddy Kane ain't dropped no music since when? KRS-One got 23 albums, yo.
Be an A&R knowing the forever. Chill right here with my man Fonz from the. He ain't got no feelings.
Mobb Deep. Yo.
Check it out.
Biggie.
Check it out. This shit goes out for all niggas who be fucking man bitches and other niggas' cribs.
And other niggas' cribs.
Nigga creep up on your ass. Live and respect. Check it. I pick flows for you, kick down doors for you, even left all my motherfucking hoes for you. Niggas say fucking pussy whip, nigga picture that, with the Kodak, it's the Mac that, we don't get down like that. Lay my game down quite flat, weakness, when you talk that, petiteness, but the ass fat, she got a body making.
Damn, it's almost to the point where you don't even know what Kodak is, yo. Picture that like a Kodak.
What you're doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. I look funny, but yo, I'm
check it out. Transitions matter.
For me, like
everybody in the chat room. Hashtag transitions matter.
Underground. I drink a bottle of Hennessy you got on your shelf, so just let me introduce myself. My name is Ho, H to the O-V. I used to hold snowflakes by the OZ. I guess even back then you can call me CEO of the ROC. Fresh out the frying pan into the fire. I be the music biz #1 supplier. Fly it in a piece of paper bearing my name.
Shout the Ho.
Chicken the game where
Emery, what up?
That's right, Ho. Not DOC, but similar to the letters. No one can do it better. I check cheddar like a food inspector. My homie Strick told me, dude, finish your breakfast. So that's what I'ma do. Take you back to the dude with the Lexus. Fast forward the jewels and the necklace. Let me tell you dudes what I do to protect this. Shoot at you actors like movie directors.
Y'all get ready to put y'all up on something, man. Yo.
Put some hearts up in that chat for Black
Rob got it. Anybody else like the kids?
Kick it free. What up, boy?
Nigga have a big 6 at the club. That's dope, okay? Especially if they got the fully equipped kid on it. It's dope.
Sing this shit for Black Rob.
I had this bad bitch in town. She was having fucked up in the head. I mean, walking bitch diamonds and pearls. I mean, should've seen them shit shining on the rip. Now money ain't a problem.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, it's like, whoa.
Now my big gold on y'all niggas like, whoa. Lost the boost up and 2 tips like, Saggy wanna beat my blueprints. I'm like, had to hit the brakes on y'all niggas like, niggas getting both on my block like, coming home within a half an hour like, running like they had the manpower like, more or less, more so. I rip it so I live the fast life. Come through in the close snow like, my niggas like those, nitro, mic flow, nice clothes, mic flow.
It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. You're running with the Eagle Party. You know who's back up in this motherfucker.
Look a song for the 2 coming real. It's the next episode.
That shit was 21 years ago with a 2
Hold up.
Hey, let's get to the Yaga Club. Take a seat and get ready for the next episode. Hey. Nate Dogg died. Everybody cried. Nate Dogg died. Hey.
She done said fried lemons. The first comment says it looked like some fried lemons.
Why are you frying lemons?
Well, I thought, why are you frying condoms? I have no idea.
Smoke weed every day. Yay.
Party people in the place to be. My name is the King Capri.
Oh, hell, yo.
Rocking with people that's gonna stand up and party with me right now. We ain't doing nothing cute. I'm rocking with New York heavy. New York makes some goddamn noise out there.
Yo, Jake Capri been doing this shit forever.
You know how we move this shit, man. So let me do this. First of all, before we even get started, I dropped my new single, Slap Key, out there. It's doing real good. Y'all go stream it and do what you do with it. Support it. But what I'm gonna do right now is take y'all back. I'm gonna take y'all back for a second, bring you up and move you around. Let's see if y'all remember. What's poppin'?
Oh, so they playing their own hits.
cannot. Fuck them kitchen sets. This what y'all ass better be buying.
Y'all know the song, sing along.
Yeah, motherfucker, you know how to do that too. I got two sets, two niggas, but you know how to cook, nigga? Once again. Hey, a man ain't gonna always have a woman in this fucking life, yo. There gonna be times when men are single, like, what you gonna fucking do?
I mean, as a woman, and the way I'm raised, I enjoy cooking. Like, I want to be the person that does the majority of the cooking. But if you couldn't cook anything at all, I would be like, oh no.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? Like, bro, you don't know how to fix
right,
a
like,
meal?
Say I got a stomach ache, I don't feel good, or I broke my ankle, or broke my hand, like...
I'ma take you uptown, KLD up in here.
But I got you see the white flake, yo? My leather, that white coat I had on is flaking off around the collar, yo. And my brown jacket is doing the same thing, like my coat.
I had your brown coat on earlier when I got home because I was cold. That thing is so cozy.
It's nice. Like the little, with dark leather streaks on it.
Yeah.
It's starting to fucking flake off, yo. Like I said, I barely wear that white one. And when I was in the I look at the collar, I'm like, damn, yo, my fucking jacket is starting to flake. Take it in your average. That's where you get that shit from, yo.
All out of towners make some noise.
Oh, nah, hell no. I'm about to get jumped in New York, nigga. Are you fucking stupid, nigga?
Queens, make some noise.
Out of town, let's make some noise.
Make some noise. Brooklyn, where you at? Brooklyn, where you at? Brooklyn, where you at? Brooklyn, where you at? Come on. Dance on, kid, dance on, baby. Put my finger up for B.I.G. one time.
All my live people, throw your hands up. Throw your hands up.
Let's see.
I'm a real live
If you remember,
throw your hands up.
how we get New York. We gonna go back.
Everywhere we go, people wanna know. So we tell this is deep, mighty, mighty deep.
Y'all remember this? New York shit right here. We moving. Come on, sing it. Wow. Hold up, that was crazy. But wait, remember this?
I didn't even do it. What does it say? Even though what we do is wrong, we still hustle to the sun come up. Track the morning when the sun go down. This is cold winter. Y'all niggas better bundle up.
You know my name, bitch. So come on, get on, come on, stand on. The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here.
I got 100 guns and 100 clips. I'm from New York. I got a semi-automatic that spits next time in Utah. I'm from New York. See me, you're the man
shit. That's Mob Deep right there.
Let me go with it. Now, solo kid. Take him back.
Get him, man.
I need all I need to get by. All that I need, I'll be there for you. If you keep it real with me, I keep it real with you.
Get that food. On top of that, you got that good power music.
Remember this? Let me break it down. The smooth operator. Ladies and gentlemen.
Commercial.
Squarespace lets you run your brand like a business with e-commerce and more.
I do run my brand like a business.
So you can have longevity in today's world.
Make some motherfucking noise for the Big Daddy Kane! It ain't hip-hop without a little technical difficulty.
Oh, it's no technical difficulties. He's hiding in the dressing room.
Damn, Chris. What the fuck? What up?
Let's go. We'll take the rocket song. Let's go. Remember to let us into your skin. What you say? Pretend you'll be to myself. Women over under your man. Come on, they on the audience side in the lyricist. I'm not in the game. Friends are friends to play about it. Ain't here for no play, just to say a little time.
This nigga like 55 years old, yo. This nigga is fucking crazy as fuck, yo. How?
KRS One. Brooklyn, what's good?
Big Daddy Kane always been too. Look how this nigga dressed, yo. He just been like this
from the very beginning.
This nigga been.
I gotta start from the very beginning. Because without this man, there would be no me, and I wouldn't be here. So first and foremost, I gotta say, rest in peace to Biz Markie. And Scratch. Yep. Let's take him to the very tippy top. Let's go. Now, if my man Biz was here, he'd probably say something like, we got DJ Scratch in the house. Yes, sir. Kid Capri in the house. Yes, sir. Blastmaster KRS One in the house. Yes, sir.
Like a Blastmaster.
And he need to be D-I-Z-M-A-R-K-I-E. And we gonna do a little something like this, you see. Check it out, y'all. Well, it's the Kane in the flesh. Of course I'm fresh. Don't get thought that I was rotten. I beg your pardon. For me getting paid, getting busy for the cover. So a man of my icons. Never could I be weak. Why I'm rapper than me? I got style, flavor, grace, plus a human technique that I've been using in that many commandments. So a brother like me, shit, I do damage just by picking up the mic and go solo. I go turn the party on up. Oh yo, I get physical, mystical, very artistical, giving party people something funky to listen to. That's why the other MCs can't swing on. I start my album just like I was King Kong, stepping on roaches. I get promotion, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I go on and on and on and till the right surely Murdoch morning. Cause I'm the built to get a rep, that's the emperor, bring a much clever. If you ever ready, willing, and I'm able to bust the move. Never use a barbershop, got my whole way smooth. Cooling out, wicked clippers right around the way. You can fresh cameo cut every day. Like that, y'all, that, like that, y'all, that, like that of the neck. Like that, y'all, that, y'all, prosecutor. Taking a stand, and I'm contaminating you, my man. The judge and jury, releasing my fury. The verdict that I reach for you is rapidly. You see, the name Kane is superior to many people. It means king, Asiatic, nobody's equal. Ain't the rag, but damn I'm good. And if Mike pull a foot, I need police wood. And if rap was a game, I'd be MVP. Most valuable poet on the MIC. And if rap was a school, I'd be the principal. Oh, fuck it, the Kane is invincible. To be specific, I may die for day, but my rhymes were made like a hieroglyphic. It's a certain special skill, takes much practice. I got it good, apparently you lack this. So in turn, sit back and learn. Listen close, looking for your own concern. Let me show you exactly how it's properly done. Lights, cameras, action, a rapper, so good to go. Also, cameo, afro, Virgo, domino, I go, Rambo, gigolo, Romeo. Friday night, spent months on a hotel to get a good night's sleep. Keep it in step. You want to come on? Yeah. What's going on? Here we go. Get your motherfucking hands up. Come on. Do your motherfucking. Put your hands in the hands up. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. I tell you what, let's pick this goddamn tempo up a little bit. Everybody get a fist up, get it up. Come on, get it up. Pull it up, get it up. Get it up, get it up. Come on, get it up. Get them up, get them up. Get them up. Look, it's a track. But this is clear, we're not clear. Vertical peers, as you can see in the rear. You gotta understand, you're just a man. Sex to the man, sex to the man, sex to the man. No more fight, you come tired, the numbers like fucking around, I'm not wired till I'm retired. Wherever the hell is a burn like fuck, for a blow. I hit a hard like, fire, take your hand and go. This is all on control, no more grams to hold. Got something to say before it's cold. Speaking of me, better hop low whisper, yo. I ain't trying to have no pity in the numbers, I'ma get back. Better get back. Tell them when you see me coming through. Back in the bag, no respect, dude. Yo, Chris, yo, Frank Settleman, get to the front of the stage.
This nigga say you the man, sit next to the man, sit next to the man, sit next to the man.
Turn it on, turn it on. Come on, come on. Hands in the air one time, put them up. Hands in the air one time, put them up. Hands in the air one time, Chris, talk to my people, man, let's go. They don't know me, but never don't tell them I know me. Never will, won't will. I'm not the only MC keeping it. When I got the man, it's such a rubber dance now. Check the cameras up from 2000 whenever I arrive. Party cake, blow with the master raver. I leave behind the video. You know that y'all, come on, now. Down goes another rapper, on to one of the matter, on to the data. Now the grace of bring. Gonna get a rap. Flesh high place for everybody blood. It once was a story matter. But now Jenny's dead, all his kids is dead. Wanna kick cross on the top. What? Come around, I'll take y'all. Now we got one. Table, sir, as the cross is burned, remember you must learn. Now just as a fit, how wild I hit. No one like a big change rocket. You can be the man, hip, hustle, player. Make sure all you is a... Yeah! MC's at man, they don't know. I like that, baby. I like that. All right. One time for Best Style Brooklyn. Scratch Let It Go.
Inspired by State Farm's surprisingly great rates.
It's so cheap. Yeah, got a rebate on the down low. 'Cause we give it your average Joe.
Like a boot.
I don't know, man. I hate to see Karis want to keep demolishing Big Daddy Kane like that.
They got straight to the point.
I'm not that.
On it soon. The incoming chancellor, Olaf Scholz, says he expects the measure to pass, and Angela Merkel, who is stepping down from her political post, said she would vote for it if she were in the Bundestag, which is the German parliament. I'm guessing. I think. German parliament, yes. A vaccine mandate, which Angela Merkel now supports, would be a major departure after Merkel and other officials insisted shots would be a personal choice. That soft tone may have contributed to Germany's relatively tepid, that's lukewarm, uptake of vaccines, with less than 70% of the population fully inoculated. The step will be controversial, and further protests from vaccine opponents are all but assured. So basically you have Germany putting, I've seen it called a lockdown on unvaccinated people, and sounds like they're going to vote soon on whether to make COVID vaccinations mandatory in Germany, and it sounds like it has a decent chance of passing. Thank you to AB Camping from New Zealand. AB Camping says, here in New Zealand, we went live with a vaccine pass app today. No pass, no entry to almost every type of business and restaurant. App has name and date of birth. Thank you, AB Camping, for your support and for the update from New Zealand. Thank you also to Teresa for your support. Thank you, Moto Goyo, who believes initial SA South Africa evidence suggests it's more contagious, but we do not know its pathogenicity. If it'll make people sicker. Well, now I've seen some analysis of South Africa data which says that it might suggest that it's not necessarily easier to spread, but it overcomes people's previous resistance to it, previous immunity to it, previous protection to it. So look, clearly the numbers are going way up in South Africa of people who have this. I can show you a tweet about this. So, and thank you, Moto Goyo, for your support and for raising this, because I want to talk about it. Oh, quickly, thank you, SC Lady 48. SC Lady 48, thanks so much for your support as well. So, on the whole South Africa thing. So as I posted this today, this was retweeted. This tweet was retweeted by Tulio de Oliveira. Tulio de Oliveira is the director for the Center for Epidemic Response and Innovation in South Africa. He's a professor. He actually is the one, he spoke at the original South Africa government press conference where they announced this new variant last week. Tulio de Oliveira was speaking at that. He retweeted this tweet today. He retweeted this tweet from Ridwan Suleiman, so which suggests it has, reliable information in it. Ridwan Suleiman is a applied mathematician and PhD at Cambridge. He says South Africa is into its fourth wave as Gauteng, which is a region which I believe includes Johannesburg. I want to say Gauteng has like 17 million people or something. It's a large province of South Africa. 12 million people, okay? He says, as Gauteng surges, with other provinces now following, case incidence across South Africa now above 8.8 new cases per 100,000 and test positivity above 12%, based on previous experience, have reached tipping points or thresholds for sustained increase. So this shows you the different waves in terms of a 7-day average COVID cases, number of days in the wave. And you can see there's the Delta wave and the Beta wave. These are first wave. What you can see is in Omicron, the number of cases is rising much faster and sooner than the earlier waves, right? And so, there's this question of like, why is this happening? What's going on here? And it's believed that most of these cases are Omicron. So, one explanation could be, well, it just spreads faster. It more easily goes from person to person. But another explanation could be that, like, I want to try to explain this right. That it could be not that it's spreading faster per se, but that people's protections don't work as well on it. So here's what it is. A lot of people, it's believed a lot of people in South Africa have already been exposed to COVID, to a previous variant. But maybe this variant, is whereas usually if you got COVID before, if you got infected before, you'd get some degree of protection from getting reinfected again. Maybe with this variant, that previous exposure to COVID doesn't really give much protection from getting as much protection as from getting infected again. So that could also be a reason where you're seeing the numbers spike, is that you have large number of numbers of people who've been exposed to the virus before and got some protection from that, but that protection is not working on this new variant. So we just, it's not clear what exactly, or maybe it's a combination of factors, but what is causing this, so what about this variant is leading to this rise in cases specifically? And let me show you something about that. I think I can show you something about that here. Let's see. Here, right here. This was...
So now, listen. So COVID happened, right? And then they rushed to get a vaccine for it in less than a year, right? And so now they're saying, hey, everybody go get your vaccine, and we may or may not need boosters. And then they figured, you know what, we are going to need boosters. And then the Delta variant came out. And so they're like, look, people, really go get the vaccine, man. This shit is starting to mutate. But now the the vaccines don't protect against the Delta variant, and now we got this Omicron variant, and so now the vaccines and the boosters don't protect against this. So I mean, what are they new vaccine for this strand and say now it's mandatory for you to get the Omicron vaccine, not just the regular COVID vaccine? Like, there is no end to this shit. There is no end to it, and they're still mandating a vaccine that the virus has mutated past twice now. So we have 2 confirmed mutations, but they still want you to get the vaccine from the original variant, which is basically not in circulation anymore. Because almost all new cases are Delta variant cases. So how is this supposed to work? Are we just gonna get like a new vaccine every 8 months, and everyone has to continue to take a vaccine every 8 months? That shit don't make no sense, man. This shit ain't adding up, man. You can't go into any restaurants or businesses without showing your card or putting your information in on their application, so that they can check your date of birth, your name and address and socials to make sure that you're in the vaccinated files from the government. Make sure you're in their data system. You can't travel. You can't go anywhere. You can't get on airplanes or buses or trains or any type or form of public transportation. You cannot utilize cabs, Ubers, or Lyfts. If you do have your own transportation, you cannot cross state lines. You cannot leave the state if you're not vaccinated. You're not going anywhere. No, you can't even drive your own car out of the state. No. Talking about slippery slope, man. We falling down. We're falling down the slippery slide already, man. We're already up and over the fucking slope. So got that Optimus Prime out there, man. Transforming shit, man. That shit coming for you, man. They're gonna get you and grandma and now your kids, cause they got it for children ages 5 to 12. Got that adrenochrome variant out there, man. Y'all didn't want to catch that adrenochrome. I heard that shit might kill you, bro. You see that bag of chips or whatever it is down there, please?
Watch out, baby. Watch out.
From Christian Althaus.
I'm still not back. Me neither. I ain't vaccinated.
He posted a thread. He said, the mutational profile of Omicron suggests a potentially significant transmission risk. But can we already say something about increased transmissibility or immune evasion? I'll give it a try. So increased transmissibility would just be, it spreads more easily from person to person. Immune evasion would be that, whereas before you might have had some protection from getting it, from vaccines or getting it previously, that protection is lessened because it doesn't work as well on the student. So VJ Srinivasan, someone I think retweeted this, which is how I found it. He said very plausible analysis that suggests Omicron in South Africa is primarily from partial immune evasion, majority of which would likely be an unvaccinated and prior infected population due to low vaccine uptake and high natural infection population.
I gotta start cooking.
So if it's a whole thread. You can go to Christian Althaus and read the whole thread. Let's see if I can just get a summary.
You want to follow.
He says it's likely that almost everyone in South Africa has already been infected with the virus in some earlier variant and has developed partial immunity against reinfection. In addition, 24% of the population, very low number, has been fully vaccinated. Let's see here. He says, I expect partial immune evasion to be the main driver of the observed dynamics, but increased transmissibility cannot be ruled out so far. So he thinks, if I'm understanding this right, that the reason for the steep rise in infections in South Africa is not because this new variant generally spreads easier than other variants, but that this new variant overcomes people's previous protection that they would normally have from getting the virus before, and possibly vaccines as well. So, you know, I'm just giving you a general sense of, you know, these are the kinds of possibilities that scientists look at when they look at this data from South Africa and they see the cases shooting up. They're not sure that still doesn't tell them exactly what's different about this variant. So they're trying to figure that out. But we'll get answers on this in the coming weeks. Okay, hey, thank you to Sun for your support. I really appreciate it, Sun. Thank you, Sun. Also, thank you so much, Duster Singer. Hey, I really appreciate that, Duster Singer. She's over there on Facebook. Thank you, Duster, for your support. I want to take some more comments from you guys. I want to keep bringing you updates at Lookner on Twitter, where you can reach me as we bring you the latest on the Omicron variant.
I might just
let's see.
Get some brown real quick.
Yeah, there's some other stuff today I just haven't gotten to today, and I want to talk about. Thanks for the Facebook stars too. Minerva Cervantes, Jess Marie, Scott McFarland, Alicia Rivera, Derek Hansen, Ernie Burnham II, and Jen Farrell. Really appreciate the Facebook stars. I want to show you something else about South Africa too. John Byrne Murdoch, who I think is with the Financial Times, he posted this about South Africa today. He said, today's update from Gauteng province, now on a log scale to better show current trajectories. The steepness of the lines shows how much faster the growth in cases and positivity is now versus past waves, and hospital admissions are now steepening too, as the acceleration in cases feeds through. So he posted this chart here, which says COVID cases, test positivity, and hospitalizations are all on steep exponential paths, with hospitals likely to steepen. That curve is going to likely steepen since it lags cases by roughly 1 week. And you see these graphs. This is kind of similar to the previous graph I showed you, where it compares the Omicron wave with earlier waves in South Africa. And you can just see Daily cases rising at a rate faster than the earlier waves in Gauteng, South Africa.
Steve always acts like he really believes all this.
Rising
I wonder if he's
faster
vaccinated.
than they were in previous waves. The hospitalizations rising faster than in previous waves. And another thing which John Bird Murdoch points out about the hospitalization numbers in South Africa is there's a bit of a lag on those numbers when they get reported. Excuse me. So he says the hospital curve is slightly steeper than it was yesterday. How is that possible since it still shows data for the same dates? And he says this is why. South Africa's weekly hospital admission counts are backfilled every day as new patient data comes in. So the figure for the week ending November 28th has been rising in recent days, from 580 on the data published on the 29th to 788 in today's report. So what he's saying is, it takes a while for the data about hospitalizations to actually come in South Africa. So the numbers of hospitalizations that have already happened will actually, the reported number will actually go up over time as more reports come in of people who have been hospitalized. So you can see that's why the curve has changed for the same time, is that more reports are coming in. He says we need to be cautious in interpreting hospital data from South Africa for two reasons. First of all, it lags.
Really? Potato chip bag acts like skin?
It usually takes time between when you test positive and if you go to the hospital, when you go to the hospital. He says the admission is
I was using the blue palette.
Numbers of people who
and the orange and yellow right there for
even including admissions in the last 5 days. Then he says it's also the case that this current Omicron wave in Gauteng in South Africa skews very young, which would cause the hospitalization rate to be lower. So if older people start getting it more, that could push the hospitalizations up even more. Then he says, and of course the other possibility, the one we're hoping for, is that
people will be more extreme than the last ones, right? People will be more extreme than the last ones.
What is?
It's Omicron.
Oh, yeah.
But, so...
Because every time it's supposed to be worse.
Why are we concerned with Gauteng province? Gauteng province is about 12 million people. It's in South Africa. That is where originally most of the cases of this Omicron variant have been seen. Now, we're starting to see them around the world, but that's the largest chunk of them right now is in Gauteng province, and that's where we've seen cases really take off in hospitalizations. So a lot of people paying attention to Gauteng province in South Africa. And one other thing about South Africa I want to mention, some interesting research coming out, and it's early research, but there's data suggesting that it's easier to get reinfected with the Omicron than previous variants. So if you've had the virus before, normally you would get a degree of protection from getting it again, from being infected with it again. But there's data suggesting that this new Omicron variant it overcomes that protection. It's much your protection from previously having the virus is much less against this infection than it was with this new than it was with previous variant. So let me show you that. That is right.
He always wears blue.
So like he needs some sleep.
He always looks like he needs some sleep. He was trying to keep up with all the shit that's going on.
She's editor-in-chief in South Africa of a health. I believe it's she says editor-in-chief. I want to show you exactly where she is. At the Kisia Health Journalism Center. And she says, and I've seen this reported elsewhere too, epidemiological data from South Africa shows a 3-fold increase in the risk for reinfection due to the
3 times greater
due to the Omicron variant versus the Beta and Delta variant.
That's crazy.
This finding provides epidemiological evidence
3 times greater risk of catching this shit.
evade immunity from prior infection. That has nothing to do with vaccines. Vaccines vaccines are supposed to the chief reason you get a vaccine is to keep you from getting really sick and dying. But vaccines, there's evidence that vaccines give you some protection against getting infected.
He keeps repeating the same thing over and over.
But we're talking now about the protection you would get from already having gotten the virus before. And what you can see is there's some data suggesting a 3-fold increase in risk for reinfection, for getting Omicron, if you've already had a different variant, for getting infected with Omicron.
So why the fuck would you get vaccinated?
It looks like, from this data, but it hasn't been proven yet, but this initial data is suggesting you're multiple times more likely to get reinfected with Omicron than you are with the Beta or Delta variant, suggesting it overcomes some of the protection from reinfection you would get from having the virus previously.
It's trying to wipe people out everywhere.
But that's specifically about the protection you'd have from getting the virus previously, not from being vaccinated previously. And again, I believe this was a preprint paper. No one's saying this has been proven.
Once again, what's the job telling me I gotta get vaccinated?
This is initial data, which is suggesting this.
Carol
but that is
said
not,
her
it's not a proven
job?
Scientific fact yet.
They mandate
this
that
is
shit.
something that researchers
Yeah, like, how you gonna fucking mandate that shit?
Initial data suggesting. Thank you, Tracy Coleman, for your support. I really appreciate Tracy. Thank you. Alex Belote, too. Thank you, Alex, for your support. I think I thanked Danielle Randall, but if I didn't thank you, Danielle Randall. Sorry, I'm just putting one thing.
You gotta shout it out twice, guys.
So we're talking the Omicron variant. We're bringing you up to date. We're taking your comments and questions. @Lickner on Twitter is where you can reach me. And let me just say a quick thanks to our moderators again, because they're so awesome. They are all volunteers, so give a shout to them. Linda Belk, Angel Shark, Sarah, Lady Edith, AJ, let's see here, Lamar Watkins. Thank you, Lamar. Also, Roxanne Betke, I know, has been moderating. Thank you, Roxanne. Oh, thank you also, Chava Israel. Thank you, Chava, for the Facebook stars. Much appreciated, Chava. And I got to thank our Twitch moderators as well.
Yeah, so this is a live stream from Steve right now.
Next-gen space heater is a brand new way to warm up your entire home this winter. Creating a warm and cozy setting around your house in just seconds. It's absolutely silent, so you can even stay warm while you are asleep at night. Heater gets so many 5-star reviews is because it's energy efficient and costs nothing to run.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Your book, the new book, is Rationality.
Rationality, what it is, why it seems scarce, why it matters.
It is kind of scarce.
It certainly seems scarce.
What has happened to us?
Well, it's... I think that there's a lot of rationality inequality.
Yeah.
Because, at the top end, we've never been more rational.
Right.
Not only do we have this mind-boggling technology in terms of mRNA vaccines and smartphones and 3D printing and artificial intelligence, but we have rationality applied to areas of life that formerly were just a matter of seat of the pants guesswork and hunches, and you rely on experts. So you have things like, Moneyball, where some genius thought, well, if you make decisions in sports, like drafting and strategy based on data, instead of the hunches of some old general manager, you could actually have an advantage. And so the Oakland A's went all the way with a fairly small
all right, I ain't gonna eat all this shit, but I do got the munchies like a motherfucker.
Now every team has a statistician. Data-driven policing. One of the reasons that the crime rate in the U.S. fell by more than half in the 1990s wasn't that all of a sudden guns were taken off the street. It wasn't that racism vanished or inequality vanished. Part of it was that police got smarter, since a lot of violence happens in a few small areas of a city, often by a few hotheads, few perpetrators.
Yeah.
If you concentrate police on where the crime hotspots are, you can control a lot of crime without that much manpower.
We were just having a
evidence-based
conversation.
medicine, evidence-based policy and governance. So there are areas in which we've applied rationality in areas that formerly were just gut feelings and hunches. I'll give you one other example: effective altruism, a movement that I'm kind of loosely connected with. Where do your charitable dollars save the most lives? Should you buy malarial bed nets? Should you buy seeing eye dogs for blind people? It makes a big difference, and so charity now is becoming more rational. So all of these areas, policing and sports and charity and government, are becoming more rational. But of course, at the same time, you've got chemtrail conspiracy theorists. You've got the idea that COVID vaccines are a way for Bill Gates to implant microchips in people's.
They're not. Don't they make you magnetic?
Yeah, right.
What's interesting to me is that there's a thing that goes along with irrational thought, where you have irrational thought that is confined to.
This guy doesn't believe in chemtrails.
If you are,
you can see chemtrails.
I mean, this is a blanket statement, but if you are right wing, you are more likely to dismiss the worries of climate change.
Yeah, absolutely. In
fact,
that is the
Why are you
main
trying to take all the
predictor
videos
of
down on
whether
it on
you dismiss
YouTube?
climate
The only
change. It's
videos that are up
scientific
are
literacy.
videos
A lot of my
debunking
fellow scientists
chemtrails.
say, oh, the fact that there's so much denial of man-made climate change also needs science education in schools, scientists becoming more popular and making the climate science more accessible. Turns out that whether you accept climate change or not has nothing to do with how much science you know. And a lot of the people who do accept it know diddly about the science. They often will think, well, yeah, climate change isn't that because of the hole in the ozone layer and lots of waste dumps and plastic straws in the oceans.
Right.
Really, a lot of them are out to lunch. Whereas some of the climate deniers, they're like well-prepared litigators. They can find every loophole. They know every study. A good lawyer can argue against anything. What does predict your acceptance of climate change is just where you are on the political spectrum. The farther to the right, the more denial. So that's what you said is absolutely right.
Wow. Yep, no chemtrail information for you guys.
I'm Agent Mobius, by the way.
Dear friends and followers, it's about time that I make a video about these mysterious solar radiation. It causes illnesses and other health problems. And you're saying this is all coming out of the back of my plane? This seems very superstitious if you ask me.
Coming out of the wings and wingtips?
Simple physics, so no chemical of the AirX. 2 words, the word condensation and...
I've seen pictures of chemtrail on and off switches in the cockpit. So what's up with...
Overboard purposely to reduce the airplane's weight for landing.
So we've got it? This is all the rumor about the chemtrails?
No, to spray chemtrails on a large scale, and we all somehow got in contact with that chemical.
And Kevin Samuels. Ma'am, beloved.
I'm gonna need you to be quiet, man.
How would you rate yourself, man? Beloved, you don't even qualify to rate me in the first place.
It's not just more denial, but this willingness to instantaneously argue it. Like, the subject came up, oddly enough, in jiu-jitsu. We're after class, we're just getting dressed and putting stuff away. And someone said, man, it's just a fact of life that it's getting hotter every year. And this guy jumped in immediately with like this defense of this idea that climate change is nonsense. And it's like, listen, it's a cycle. It's always been going on like this. I'm like, how much research have you done? Yeah. Like, you don't think people affected at all? I'm like, yeah, it is a cycle, right? If you go back and look at core samples and you look at the ice ages and you look at all the various times in the history of the Earth, the climate has moved. We were actually just talking about this yesterday. I had someone on who was an expert in ancient civilizations and all these archaeological mysteries that they've found. And one of the things we were talking about was the Sahara Desert. That the Sahara Desert goes through this period every like 20,000 years or so where it's green and then it becomes a desert again and then it becomes green again and it goes back and forth. And 5,000 plus years ago, it was very green and now it's an inhospitable desert. And, you know, this guy just like had this like right-wing talking point. Instead of arguing with him, I said, how much research have you done? I'm like, what do you think is happening? Like, well, it's just a cycle. Like, it's definitely a cycle, but don't you think it's extraordinary the amount of CO2 we put in the atmosphere?
Yeah, there could be superimposed trends. They could be cycling on top of that. Right. They could be the forcing that we're doing.
It's both things. It's clearly there's like the Earth varies. It has varied forever in terms of like the climate shifting back and forth. But clearly, like if you look at any, like Mexico City is a great example. I flew into Mexico City once and I took photos because I couldn't believe there wasn't a fire. I'm like, I can't believe this. Like when you live in Los Angeles, you're used to smoky skies when there's forest fires and wildfires. But Mexico City, there was no fire. It was just pollution. Like, these poor fucking people, they have to live in this shit every day. This is crazy.
No, that's true. And actually, what surprised me the most of all the places I've been is Africa, Tanzania and Uganda, where there is a brown haze everywhere, and that's because people burn wood and charcoal.
Oh, that's the thing that people need to realize too.
They heat up wood to make the charcoal, and they burn the charcoal, and there is a haze over the landscape. Nothing I've seen. You know, a lot of the worst, unhealthiest air pollution is people cooking with open fires in their own houses.
Isn't that wild?
Which is wild, yeah.
You would never think that burning wood outside would have a significant impact on the environment, but it really does.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't forcing climate change. It's a different kind of problem.
Right.
It's another problem.
It's a different kind of
pollution. But going back to what we were talking about, one of the big conclusions of rationality is that a lot of what we deplore now as, you know, just crazy stuff, conspiracy theories and fake news, and a lot of it comes from one bias, the my side bias, which you kind of already alluded to.
Yeah.
Namely, you believe in the sacred beliefs of your own clique, your own political party, your own coalition, your own tribe, your own sect, and you paint the other side as stupid and evil for having different beliefs. There's a perverse kind of rationality in being a champion for your cause because you know you get brownie points from all your friends, and if you were to defy them, if you were to accept climate change in a hardcore right-wing circle, you'd be a pariah. You'd be social death. So there's a perverse kind of rationality in championing the beliefs of your side. It isn't so good for whole democracy when everyone is just promoting the beliefs that